Diagramming in Excel. A not uncommon tool used for information presentation with Excel, along with a host of other programs of course, is the use of a diagram to help illustrate particular relationships or structure. There are two basic ways to handle the process of adding a diagram. For one, you can click somewhere on the page where you'd like it inserted. Click the Insert menu to open it, select Diagram. Next, you're going to choose a diagram type from the diagram gallery. If you click on each one, you'll notice that down here it will tell you the type. For example, this is an organizational chart used to show hierarchical relationships, a cycle diagram used to show a process within a continuous cycle, a radial diagram used to show relationships of a core element, a pyramid diagram used to show foundation-based relationships, a Venn diagram, as well as the all-familiar target diagram. You can just select one and click OK, or you can double-click on it and it will appear on your screen in your work pane. So for example, we'll click on this. You'll notice it's added this wonderfully large image way up. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to move this down so we can keep it separate from what else we've got going on the page. You'll notice that when the diagram is drawn, the diagram toolbar opens up. And again, this is one of those situations where you can run your mouse over the toolbar and you'll see what each option is here. Insert shape, move shape backward, move shape forward, reverse the diagram, change the layout, auto format, or change to. And auto format's kind of a neat tool because you can make adjustments to using the diagram style gallery to make adjustments to how your particular diagram looks. 3D color, gradient, square shadows. And you can pick one of these and click OK to apply it to your diagram. So these are just some of the option changes you can make with a diagram. You'll also notice that as you work with any kind of artwork on your page, usually the drawing toolbar will open. Now if the drawing toolbar does not open automatically, you can go to the View menu, go to Toolbars and select Drawing, and it will appear. And it will usually appear at the very bottom of your work pane so you can work from it. You can do whatever you want to customize your diagrams. You can add text boxes, for example. You can add word art. You can change relationships. You can add arrows and lines and auto shapes and various other things that we'll be talking about as we go through. To label your diagram, you would click here where it says click to add text, and then you'd add some different text to it. Editorial. Now, for example, if you want to change the actual formatting of the title here or label, you could just go up here, for example, and change it so that it's 8-point and it fits nicely. And then you'd repeat that for all the other options here to make changes to them. So those are examples of how you would work for changing your diagram and working with it. Now up here we're going to go back, and besides the diagram tool that I showed you, you can also do a kind of a free-form diagram. So for example, here on this worksheet I was illustrating an editorial process for people who are submitting work to an editor. And what I've done is I've gone to the drawing toolbar and I've used auto shapes to create 3 basic shapes for the diagram. Then I've used text box to add text boxes to each of these different symbols. I've added a label up top so that it indicates. So this is an idea of a freehand style of diagram. And obviously you can use arrows. I've used arrows here to draw lines showing the relationship between the different elements of the process. Now I'll show you more about auto shapes and how to change them and such when we look at auto shapes shortly. However, you can also use Excel's organizational chart feature to create a formal type of diagram as well, besides the thing that you see when you click on Insert and Diagram and look at the Select Diagram Type. Here you also have an organizational chart you can use.